Good morning, my darlings. Welcome to a new vlog. I had to wait a little while to start talking to you this morning because the sound of the rain hammering on the windows has been almost deafening. So loud. Today is the most autumnal day I think we've had so far this year. I've had a very slow morning, naughtily slow considering it is a work day. I say that, but that just means I was doing work in my dressing gown for a little bit longer than I should have been. I do normally like to get up and get moving, but sometimes the weather is just like, no, today's a cozy day. Actually, yesterday was the same. It was super grey and dark, and I actually took a day off filming for the first time in a long time. Because I do 3 videos a week, normally that means I'm filming 7 days a week. And one of the weekly vlogs will probably be 3 days instead of 2 days. But yesterday I had to be makeup free because, as you'll have seen in the last vlog, I had the peel facial at L'Atelier, and the second day of that vlog I was also makeup free because you need to be so careful with your skin. It's very sensitive after a fairly strong peel. So yesterday I did a reformer Pilates in the morning. Didn't want to do anything too sweaty because again, you're not meant to get like hot, so I thought reformer would be great. And then yeah, just had a real laptop day, editing, emails, admin, ticked so many things off my to-do list. We got some blog posts published. I got my almost, not all of Vlogmas, but I got quite a lot of Vlogmas planned and things like that. Anyway, that's very boring, but oh my gosh, I did make the most delicious lunch yesterday. I think today in this vlog I will share a few of my nice, like, cozy, warming things to do to just help get through these dark and rainy days. And yesterday's lunch was a perfect cozy autumn lunch. So was it the last vlog? Yeah, it was the last vlog that I made my veggie stock. And I had about 1/3 of the bottle of the veggie stock yesterday, heated it up on the hob, added some ramen noodles, and then I just threw in loads of veg that we had in the fridge. So it was like a noodly veggie broth, and I want to have it again today because it was so delicious and it kept me full for quite a long time. I also threw in a small handful of risotto rice. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And then for dinner, so I don't know why I'm telling you what I ate yesterday, but it was just all so divine. I did take a very quick video clip of our dinner. Charlie wanted to do like a mushroom sauce for a gnocchi dish, but I don't love mushrooms, he does, so we just kind of split the cooking towards the end. And we've got so many pumpkins in the house and I love to cook with pumpkins, so I used a Harlequin pumpkin, half of that, turned it into a puree, and then did like a milky, that sounds weird, but you needed the milk to make it creamy, nutmeggy, pumpkiny, sage brown butter sauce on the gnocchi. Sorry, my mouth is watering just thinking about it because it was so delicious. But yeah, oh, and then I had a bath, and then I did my LED because that's really good for after a peel, because the LED, red light and blue light, really good for skin repair and healing. So yeah, yesterday was a real reset day with no vlogging. But anyway, today we've actually got our accountant coming over today. We had our financial advisor last week. You'll have seen the vlog where Toby came over. Today is Charles coming over. I'm popping in my earrings. These are really lovely hoops from Monica Vinader. They're the perfect like chunkiness, and they're a little bit textured, almost like a hammered metal. And I love a chunky hoop with a high neck. This looks like a knit that I'm wearing, but it's actually a jumper dress. I'll just pop my watch on. Still not wearing the wedding ring because of my sore finger, but I think maybe after the weekend I'll start wearing it again. My usual watch. And then today's fragrance, a balm of calm with lavender and sandalwood from Penhaligon's. These fragrances are very strong, but I feel like I like to lift my fragrance game at this time of year. Oh, I would say most of them as well. There's something a little bit festive about this. Almost like nutty. Don't know. Love it. Ooh, wow, it really is strong. I actually need to move because it's too strongly scented here now. Okay, I'll try and show you my outfit of the day from here. So yeah, it is this gorgeous knitted dress. You have got a little slit on this side. I am wearing my slippers because we're working from home today. You've got a really nice kind of fitted section in the middle. I'm not wearing my Skims today. Probably need to give this a little bit of a steam, but do you steam knitwear? I'm never too sure. And then the belt, oh my goodness. Looks like Hermes, doesn't it? It is not. It is far more affordable. I'll leave it linked down below. And the dress has actually got shoulder pads, which gives it a real smartness. If you wear your hair up, it looks like you kind of mean business with your shoulder pads, but they would be very easily removable as well. So yeah, very comfy outfit of the day in my favourite colour to wear at this time of year. Okay, so back onto my morning routine. I have had my first coffee of the morning already, which means I have already taken this morning's supplements because my routine, and I have started listening, actually during my LED, I've started listening to the Audible of the Atomic Habits book, and it was recommending a really good way of sticking to a habit is like connecting it with another habit. And so if you find that you are regularly forgetting to take, sorry, you're on top of the coffee machine and it does like to hiss. If you do regularly forget to take your morning supplements, attach your supplement taking to another habit. I don't think any of us ever forget to have our morning coffee if that is part of your routine. So maybe while your coffee is brewing or while your coffee machine is warming up, that would be a really good time to take your supplements. For probably 2 years or so now, I have been taking Wild Nutrition, and at this time of year it is more important than ever to stick with your supplement game. Here he is. Actually, I have got Charlie to thank for using Wild Nutrition, because to be honest with you, you are influencing the influencer, because
so shiny on it.
Wild Nutrition emailed me asking if we potentially wanted to work together, and I'd heard of them thanks to Charlie, and you always do a lot of research into your supplement brand. Why did you first start using Wild Nutrition?
I can't work out exactly how I came across them because it's a fair few years ago now, but I think it was obviously the fact that they're food sourced, food grown that appealed to me. Look, full disclosure, 4 or 5 years ago I worked with a competitor of theirs, which is a more mainstream competitor, and then within a couple of years of taking those, I started to be exposed to more and more information about how you really need to research your vitamins, and a lot of the vitamin brands out there aren't what they seem, and they're an expensive essentially. So I was like, okay, and then I went through about a year of not taking anything, thinking, oh, we don't need vitamins, we get it from our food. And then the more information we consumed, the more we heard from people like Tim Spector, Dr. I never know how to say his name, Rangan Chatterjee.
Actually, it's like Rangan.
Yeah,
Rangan Chatterjee.
We don't know how to pronounce it. Our Indian pronunciation isn't great, but is it Rangan Chatterjee, who is fantastic as well. I started to think, actually, maybe, maybe supplements would be a useful source. And then I did some research into what men need. Now, I know also another word I don't know how to say it.
Ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha.
Why do you take that?
Well, this is the only thing I would still say. I'm still on my journey with this. And because I am afraid of needles, I've been putting off having a blood test. But I do need a blood test. I think we all need blood tests, probably every year, to check on what's going on. And as we've talked about in previous vlogs, definitely we're, as a nation and maybe even as a world, overdosing on protein now because of the marketeers. Thanks for that. And I think potentially we're overdosing on things like vitamin D and vitamin C because we're getting a lot of that in our food. However, a lot of us are iron deficient or low in iron, which affects energy levels. And I think this ashwagandha is also something that can really help with energy levels.
It's good for hormones as well, hormone balancing.
I remember reading that, and also recovery, I think. But, so I've got Dexter. I've also got into a habit of taking, so I take 2 of these every morning. I take the Iron Plus, one of those every morning, and I take vitamin D. Where is it? Yeah, sorry, I'm looking up there because it's normally up there, but you've moved it. Vitamin D. I've only started taking that again now that the sun's gone away.
Yes. Really good for energy levels.
Yeah.
When it starts, when the days get shorter, like they are doing now. In the previous years, I've really noticed that I just have energy for like 4 hours a day, but having taken the supplements for a couple of years now, I feel like I don't notice my energy levels dipping at this time of year that much.
I think, we the reality is we're never going to know the full impact of what the vitamins are, you know. It's hard to put a pinpoint on what exactly it is that's had a positive or negative impact. My view is, with Wild Nutrition, if there's things that can help guarantee or help strengthen our ability to fight off illness, fight off the cold, be more energetic in the morning, feel better, as we've talked about health being everything, then it's worth that sort of, it's worth it to take those vitamins to shield yourself.
Yeah.
And we believe that Wild Nutrition, from our research and from what we've spoken to them about, is one of the best out there for vitamins.
Well, it's because the products are food grown, which means that there are no nasty filler ingredients within the supplements, and because the ingredients are food grown, our body recognizes the ingredients. It's not like some unusual chemical construction that has been made in a factory that our body doesn't understand and therefore doesn't absorb, and so we literally, as Charlie said, have a very expensive wee. But with food grown supplements, our body recognizes the ingredients and absorbs all of it, so maximum absorption.
It's the way sort of it was described to us that really resonated with me, and sometimes with me I do just need to hear it in a really practical sense. It's a bit like we're talking about when we're talking about food mapping, and like, for example, in India, heart disease being really low, and they have a lot of spices, a lot of turmeric in their cooking, right? And turmeric is in powder form most of the time, and it's essentially, you know, if you take a supplement from Wild Nutrition, it's not dissimilar to taking a capsule of herbs and spices, and therefore your body recognises and it absorbs it. I think it links, you know, we're not going to badmouth other vitamin brands in this, but it does make you, you know, we're more and more aware of reading the back of packaging.
Yeah.
And at least when you read the back of Wild Nutrition packaging, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
When you start reading the back of other brands, some of the more mainstream brands or the bigger, more established brands, it's quite concerning with what's in there, right? I guess the one of the 4 vitamins I take from them that I really genuinely do notice a difference is magnesium.
Oh yeah.
So I take the magnesium in the evening. Now occasionally I forget, because obviously I take it with dinner, whereas in the morning you kind of remember as part of your ritual. Coffee, I have a big glass of water in the morning, a coffee, then a workout, then I eat my breakfast and I have my vitamins. And often a fresh mint tea afterwards to help with digestion. Whereas in the evening it's more rushed. Yeah. And I definitely sleep better taking the magnesium supplements. But I think the thing that's worth bearing in mind is it's not a quick instant fix, right? You need to build up your resources of it. What's the word? Your tolerance of the vitamin. So it's not the end of the world if you miss a day, but if you went on holiday for a week and didn't take it for a week, you definitely are taking a step back.
Well, that's why I love these sachets, because I will just count 7 of these out if we're going for a week-long holiday. Even if I go for an overnight stay, I'd pop one of these in my handbag. For me, I tried using pill pots in the past, like little, you know, those little organised boxes, like Samantha in Sex and the City, and I just never stuck with it. So for me, you get these on a subscription, so these are my daily essentials. You can ring up and speak to a nutritionist, you can speak to a member of the Wild Nutrition team, you can have a free 15-minute consultation and they will recommend a product for you or a selection of products for you, and it's not like a salesy call, it's really informative. If you talk about energy or hormones, then they'll recommend the right thing for you. For me, just ticking over omegas, multivitamin and vitamin D is what I need.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think it's important for you more than me maybe, because you're slightly more selective with what you eat.
Yes.
So you don't eat fish, you don't eat anywhere near as many eggs as I do, so straight away your omega is going to be much lower.
Yeah.
I do think it will be really interesting as part of our partnership with Wild Nutrition to have blood tests done, because I think we are all very quick to make lifestyle changes without actually knowing the evidence.
Yes. And
I know equally we've had, maybe it's another one for another more controversial vlog, talking about medicine and the challenges in that industry. You know, doctors are great.
Do you know what? Everybody loved our chat when we were talking about
I know. I got a few messages that were anti it. But
really?
Yeah, only a few, but it's more from people that are, I think, not in a great place. So that's fine. And everyone's entitled to their opinion and to express it in the same way that we are.
Yeah.
So that's totally, as long as it's done in the right way.
Yeah.
No, I know it's interesting. And obviously we're not experts in any of this. We're learning like all of you
but
are.
World Nutrition are. So if you want an expert, then yeah, they do the free consultation on the phone, which is so helpful. And for me, having...
Go away then. Sorry, he's being a real pest. Go outside if you think you can.
Go on, go for a tinkle. I don't know what I want today, but it's raining and I'm not happy about it.
Dexy's not had his vitamins this morning.
But before I forget, World Nutrition have very kindly increased my discount code for this, which is amazing, 50% off your first 3 months. With the code that I'll leave on the screen here, which I'll leave linked down below as well. So now is the best time of year. Up your immunity, up your energy levels, start getting into a really good habit, really good routine. I recommend these to all of our friends. In fact, so many of our friends take these. Did you notice when we went to France, Hannah and Phil, had the whole selection?
And even at Bamford Club,
yeah,
we were chatting with, there's a lot of very sort of
wellness
health focused people at where we go to the gym.
Yeah.
And they're often a bit older than us and more informed on lots of things. But actually in these areas, they weren't as informed. And they were taking a lot of the brands that I'm referring to before, who obviously have bigger marketing budget, bigger clout in the industry. And you know, I sort of just talked a little bit about this, and I think they've all really come on board. But
look, someone literally tagged me in an Instagram story this morning that they have started taking their World Nutrition thanks to us.
And look, we'd love to know how people get on with it, right? And as I say, the one big thing I've realised, and I think we're both like this, but a lot of what we're talking about now is from experience. It's from also being guilty of trying things and doing the wrong thing.
Oh yeah.
Right? And often January for me, certainly when we lived in London, was this big month of big changes, and you set so many targets that are actually unachievable. Actually, this time of year is a good time to make a few small changes like this, tick them off before January. So when you get to January after a lovely week of relaxing,
in the routine.
You're like, great, I'm already on that. So now I've just got to maybe think, okay, reflect and think, actually maybe I could tweak my workout, do this, do that, spend less time on screens, whatever it might be.
Yeah, but don't make those big lifestyle changes during the most miserable month of the year. Like, do it now when it's when you've got a little bit more energy left. Yeah, well, thank you for joining in that chat, because it is thanks to Charlie. Charlie is the ultimate influencer, influences me, influences many others, and you don't get enough credit for it, darling. Actually, we did a Wild Nutrition reel where I gave you credit for everything.
True, like and then Jake used part of that video, didn't he, in the in that lovely wedding video he did.
Yeah, that was so nice.
Yeah, but you know what, it's it's just another thing from our point of view that it's a small change for a big benefit. Yeah, you know. Yeah. And yeah, as we're progressing into that cold and flu season, better to protect yourself than have to then take all these horrible, and that can be another video.
Prevention is better than cure.
The horrible cures that are out there, like Lemsip. Yeah. Which we'll go big on.
Just going back to our chat the other day when we were in the kitchen talking about Riv and talking about organic food, one of people's main arguments that were not against us but like slightly disagreeing or having a bit of a back and forth was that we were talking about organic food and fresh fruit and veg, and everyone obviously always says it's too expensive, and I totally agree, and I think that is a bigger issue. Like, we need the government to tax things that are really bad for us and subsidise things that are good for us. But people, I love when you guys have debates amongst yourselves in the comments, and so many of your responses to that argument was, yes, but the cost of preventing yourself from getting ill is so much lower, than the cost of fixing yourself if you do get ill. So if you focus on your health and prioritize your health and do invest in that, then that saves you money in the long run, because being ill is expensive.
And you know what, 100%, we are living a certain life that we've worked hard for, and we're very grateful for, and there's not a day that passes that we don't feel grateful for it, and we do want to give back. And one thing I was thinking, actually, you know, we've all been there. You know, we've been there when we were students or when we were living in London, and I think over half my salary, if not nearly 2/3, was going on rent, and I wasn't earning very much money either at the time, so it was definitely a bit more interesting. And maybe in January, or when we have a little bit more time, we could think of, because there are loads of dishes I make or used to make more of that I don't think are very costly, and they use just all fruit and veg or all veg,
like a big lasagna, like a veggie lasagna with lentils.
I think there is still I agree on organic, that debate for a minute. There is definitely, I mean, look, we know for a fact that all the processed, ultra processed foods are often often more expensive, like a takeaway pizza versus potentially making your own, using pita breads or something like that. But anyway, I think that's something we could look at as a challenge done in the right way. Because
not like the £1 a day challenge.
No, not like the £1 a day challenge. But I think, it's something that we're of course conscious of.
Sorry, I just had to change the battery and talk about timing, because a miracle was just happening as the battery died, because Charlie was actually admitting to being wrong to something.
What was I admitting wrong to being?
I don't know, something to Riverford.
Oh yeah, I was wrong just on the price. Because I noticed there were a couple of people, fair enough, that obviously mentioned the cost of it. I was completely wrong. So to give you an idea, the average dish for 2 people is about £11. For organic. Which still sounds like an awful lot, but when it's organic, it wasn't 18 or something I quoted. That was actually for 4 people. Anyway.
that is expensive, and a lot of people were saying that we're not in touch with the real world because it's so expensive. But we know that is an expensive.
It's a premium thing, but equally, like anything, our channel is is talking about a certain echelon of things. We pride ourselves on supporting British companies. That isn't always the most affordable approach. But equally, I would love to do a bit more research into cooking more efficiently price-wise. If that helps people that follow us, that would be great.
And actually, I was just saying earlier about my lunch that I had yesterday, which would technically have cost me like the price of some ramen noodles, because the veg stock, you can literally use the scraps of your veggies from your week's meals, put them in a little freezer bag, I'll show you mine in a second, make the stock, stick some noodles in, stick like a broccoli head in, cut up. That lunch is like a 50p lunch. And it's so good for you, having the broth. So there are definitely ways around it, just avoiding processed food. But I love how our conversations always come back to this.
I mean, like it's definitely, eventually, my dream is eventually we will get Tim Spector over. I've decided.
So you're going to be mates with Beckham.
So my dream, and actually let's finish this on a, right, let's finish this to get other people. My dream, not dinner party, my dream, like round table dinner with 4 other guests now.
Yeah.
Is Tim Spector.
Yeah.
David Beckham.
And Marcus Waring.
Marcus Waring.
Yeah.
I think you need some comedy there though as well. Daisy May Cooper.
Not Ricky Gervais.
No, because I think you need some female energy, I think.
You do.
So Daisy May Cooper. There we go.
Amy Poehler. I think Amy Poehler.
I'm going down the British route, I think.
Really?
So Marcus Waring, Tim Spector, David Beckham, and Daisy May Cooper. And I'd ideally like to sit in between David Beckham and Tim Spector.
Yeah.
Just because those are the two. Like, I love Marcus Waring and I love Daisy May Cooper, but those two.
I think Marcus Waring and David Beckham would have a lot in common.
I think they all would. I think they'd all be really interesting. Yeah. Do you know what? That's maybe do you know what? If anyone's watching that's a producer in television, League of Their Own's kind of died a bit now that the original presenters have gone.
TV show?
Top Gear's gone because it's just not safe. I would like my own TV panel show. And those are the panellists. And can you imagine the budget? Can you imagine the budget needed? I mean, you wouldn't need much to get me on there, but I'd probably do it for free actually. But you would need a lot to get David Beckham on there, and you would probably need quite a lot to get Tim Spector on there. Like 8 out of 10 cats, but what would we call it?
9 out of 10 sausage dogs.
No, I don't know. Anyway, that is really rambling, but that would be brilliant.
We have digressed.
Comment below your dream.
Dinner party.
Dinner party, yes, with a health aspect though, because obviously this vlog is very much about health and health first. So I think that, because I think also David Beckham could probably learn a lot from them. Marcus Waring would definitely learn from Tim Spector, and I think that would be good because Anyway.
There we go. I'm hungry. Have you had breakfast?
I have had my organic yogurt from Hollis Mead that we order, which is amazing. I have had raspberries from the garden, which are amazing, and it is a really rewarding experience, the raspberries, because we've got 4 raspberry plants we've planted, which are super cheap from garden centres, by the way. You could probably do that in pots. You could do it in 2 pots in any outdoor space. And by pure chance, they all fruit at different times of year,
so good.
As in throughout spring, late summer and autumn. So the summer ones are done, and they're the really orangey ones, but now we've got the yellow ones and the more pinkish ones.
Yeah.
So I had that on my yogurt with nuts and
with your
Tim
Spector seed mix.
Exactly. So I feel pretty good.
It's really good. Well, cool. I'm just going to do a cheesy omelette.
Lovely.
Nice. Okay. Hope you enjoyed that chat. brewing, cooking, and we've just had another monumentous moment of Charlie coming around to my way of thinking. Would you like to tell everyone what you just
Well, what I've said, and I'm always happy to admit when I'm wrong, or to be honest, I'm not wrong in this case. I'm just changing my mind and admitting it. And I think a lot of people's comments were on the fence with this anyway, but the Arga, we have to make a final decision today. And I think actually I'm coming around to the thought, I think it's called Olivine, which is the more olive Cotswold colour. Look, I'll be completely honest, I think this is one of the reasons we're really passionate about working with Arga, is we still believe that they could and should be doing it a lot better than they are.
On that note, just the one thing that people got angry about, they thought that we were angry at Blake & Ball because they didn't want to work with us.
Okay, well, so I mean, I didn't want to bring it all up again, but there were a few people that messaged me, which is 100% their prerogative, again. Blake & Ball, we approached them, actually, full disclosure, we approached them way back when to say we'd love to talk about working together. And they didn't get back to us, not a problem. We then went down the route of course, as a normal customer, which is exactly how we work.
Like, hello, we are ready and willing to spend thousands of pounds.
So yeah, full disclosure, we obviously approached them as a regular customer in the end, and we thought great product, great offering, great marketing. Arga could definitely learn a lot from Blake & Ball, and I still believe that in terms of how they are set up and how much choice they offer. And this is where we're highlighting it, right? So the two colours I've got in front of me are both nice greens, but the deep dark green that my mum and dad have, Arga no longer do. Whereas Blake & Ball offer, I think, 8 or 9 greens. So credit where credit's due. But like any business, you need to back that up with the service and the customer service. And my honest opinion still stands that we approached them as normal customers, got quoted, I think, nearly £5,000 to re-enamel the Arga, which we thought was a lot, but we thought fine. It's going to be cheaper than obviously buying a brand new one. And obviously, at that point, we were very much keen customers, and the back and forth with a chat, sort of an outsourced customer service team where I think I spoke to 7 or 8 different people. Once again, obviously, a lot of the same questions getting asked, a lot of miscommunication, just really poor, really poor customer service. So I said that on this vlog, and I stand by that. And do I want Blake & Ball to lose business? No. But do I want all of you lovely people to have a similarly negative experience to what I had? No, I don't. So that's how this works. We spend an awful lot of time praising brands, most of the time not brands that we work with, but brands that we've had great customer experiences with. Brands that we think do a great job, and brands that we think deserve more business, so we praise them. And every now and again, when we have a bad experience, we are very much allowed to share that on this channel because it's our channel.
I think you've got to take the bad with the good. Like, when people first started beauty blogging, I remember so many beauty bloggers would be afraid to badmouth a brand or even a product because they were afraid of getting blacklisted. But actually, I think that gives authenticity and credibility to your genuine reviews. Like, if you just go around saying that everything is amazing, then that's not very believable. Like, when you talk to your friends, like when you go to the pub or you're catching up over a Sunday roast with your friends, you share positive and negative. And
well, look, I mean, look, let's finish it anyway.
Life,
as I say, I mean, obviously that everyone is entitled to their opinion. I don't believe I trashed Blake & Ball, and as I say, maybe we'll be a customer in the future, but certainly it was not a fun customer experience. And it's our hope that working with Arga, we can help them become a bit more modern in their approach, because I think there's a lot of people our age that would want an Arga, would have a use for an Arga, but don't know about them and don't know about all the positives of them. So yeah, so that was our journey, and we have come to the colour decision. Very exciting. So we're going to be doing, I think it's called Olivine, which is like a Cotswold green colour. Don't get me wrong, this is the colour I liked the most, and I said this at the time, but my issue was always, would it work in the kitchen, because the walls are a similar colour. The kitchen is quite a light colour, and the floor is quite a light colour. So I just thought maybe it might be a bit washed out.
I think it'll match in really nicely.
And I think then the dark green marble worktop should work really well. But yeah, so no, it looks super exciting. And yeah, just to finish on that, I mean, we will continue, look, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but it's not going to change how I deal with things, because I believe I am right on this, which is purely that...
I got £1 for every time.
Well, do you know what I feel, and I think you feel, and that's why this channel has been very successful, and we're very grateful to everyone that watches that's helped make it successful, is authenticity. And, you know, whenever I recommend something, I would never recommend anything that I don't believe in myself, and you wouldn't either. And we have a duty of care, in my opinion, to this audience that you're all part of, to look after you in terms of recommending brands that are actually legitimate. And I think it's very important. And if we have bad experiences, within reason, we'll share them, because we don't want other people to have similarly bad experiences. And unfortunately, there's a lot of companies now that outsource customer service, and it makes things tricky.
Or just have bad products.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, in other industries, for sure. So yeah, that's where we're at with it.
Well, I'm thrilled.
It's going to be a dream come true, because I've always dreamt of having an Arga, and we have one now, but it kind of wasn't one we chose or designed. It is a bit tired. It has been in this house for quite a long time and not looked after before we moved in. We also probably could have done a better job of looking after it. And this will get recycled anyway.
Yeah. We should actually document that process, because it's fascinating how they recycle them.
Well, I think the whole process is going to be fascinating, because I think even we've learned throughout, the reason I approached Blake & Boy in the first place is I had the perception that new Argas were not made in the UK. And I was like, well, I don't want to get a new one then. But they are made in the UK. So sharing all of that, I think, is going to be a really, really interesting experience. So yeah, and look, honestly, the Arga is the heart of our home, particularly this time of year. So I think it's important we get the right one. Yeah, there you go, boom.
Great, well, thank you for your explanation, darling.
Boom, I don't know why it's always here, and I get very passionate, and if I was sat down, I'd probably be more relaxed.
Maybe that's why chefs are always really like, because
they're in a kitchen.
Heat of the kitchen.
So there you go, so those are the colours that we're talking about.
For these things, like kitchen.
That's the olivine, and that is the green colour, which I'm not mad on, actually, the more I looked at it.
Really?
Yeah.
I do like it, but...
My advice, look, we're working with Arga, but we're still being critical, because we want them to offer a great service. They need to go back to that heritage green. Do you know, if I were them, I would launch a whole heritage collection of colours, which date back to old Argas. So I would try and identify the oldest Argas in the country. I don't know how they do that, but even just do a poll and say, look, if you've got an Arga that's more than 50 years old, we will come and refurbish it up.
Oh, no, I think they did do a competition,
for you. And then in the same breath, we would like to tell your story and make a book about it, because I think it'd be fascinating. Anyway, there you go.
Well, after our little wild nutrition immunity chat earlier, I can't stop thinking about Turmeric Latte. I had one last week at the Sound Classical Piano event, and it's just absolutely the most warming and so good for you drink. You can do it with any milk. I'm going to do it this morning with hazelnut. It's literally just 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and then a little dash of vanilla extract. You can also add in some maple syrup to make it a bit sweeter, and just whisk it together on the hob. I'm sure you could probably do it in the Thermomix as well, but this is easier to clean. So let's put together a lovely hazelnut turmeric latte. Is that not literally autumn immunity in a glass? This is a maple pumpkin spice turmeric latte. 'Tis the season, so I thought I'd just pop some of the pumpkin spice on top. Gonna get a little straw to stir and slurp, because we don't want our teeth to turn yellow, and that is gonna be absolutely delicious. I just love these copper coloured straws. They are so useful, both the straw and my little pumpkin mug from Amazon. I shall leave them linked down below. Gosh, how pale and veiny my hands look. I think some fake tanning is overdue. Ooh, more pumpkin-y than I thought. So I was just sat here slurping my turmeric latte, which I have to say is delicious. Definitely gonna make it with hazelnut milk again in future. And I just found an article on why turmeric latte is so good for you. And it's talking about obviously how turmeric is touted for health benefits, an alternative remedy to boost immunity and stave off illnesses, also called golden milk. So I'll give you a few little facts. Curcumin, the active component in turmeric, has been used in Ayurvedic medicine for centuries due to its strong antioxidant properties. Antioxidants are compounds that fight cell damage, protecting the body from oxidative stress. Most turmeric latte recipes also include cinnamon and ginger, as mine did, both of which have impressive antioxidant properties as well. So, also good for inflammation, joint pain.
Only thing to be careful of is
staining.
Teeth.
Teeth, yes, well, that's
so
why
don't
I've got
brush
a
your
straw.
teeth, but don't brush your teeth. Do you remember dentist Tom said to swirl your mouth with water a couple of times, because if you brush your teeth, you brush it in. Same with if you've eaten a piece of apple or if you've had a coffee, you shouldn't brush your teeth straight after.
Or a juice.
Anything acidic.
Did you know curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric, has been scientifically proven to boost mood and reduce symptoms of depression?
Oh, right.
Apparently.
I mean, it's a great spice.
Ingredient.
Spice, herb.
Herb, spice.
What's the difference between a spice and a herb?
Also talking about ginger and cinnamon together reducing blood sugar levels. Goodness, so many health benefits. So that'll be our accountant. But yes, might be having a turmeric latte more often.
The sun has finally come out a little bit today, and I'm the first to start sunbathing to be found.
Okay, darlings, meeting with our accountant is done. They're always quite exhausting, require a lot of brain power, but it's done. So that's great. You may have noticed I've got changed, and that is because a lovely pair of trousers arrived from Lily Silk, and I could not wait to try them on. My new style alter ego is wearing trousers, which is very normal to most people, but I just managed to get through 30 years of my life and never really styling trousers. So the trousers in question are, in fact, silk, which is, let's pop you over here. And don't be fooled by the name. Lily Silk do a lot of things which are not silk. They do some really gorgeous cashmere and wool pieces, but they really are great when it comes to silk. And I just saw this pair on the website and thought that they were rather fabulous. Brown is very much the colour that I'm just obsessed with the absolute most this season. I can't really stop stroking them, they're so soft, and there's something very practical about silk. It is very temperature regulating. They've got a really lovely drop to them, perfectly high-waisted, and then I've got my Reese boots on underneath, which do match the belt, which is rather lovely. They've got a gorgeous colour to them. So yeah, I just wanted to give these a try. Thought I would style them up properly. So let me know what you think of these. I also had a delivery from a luxury British leather goods company, and they are called Tusting, T-U-S-T-I-N-G, and they very kindly sent over a couple of pieces from their collection, including this absolutely beautiful handbag, which is just the most spectacular quality. It's a very smart style bag. I think for days in London it's definitely going to fit my laptop, my iPad. You can open up the sides if you need to have a little bit more space in there. You've got a couple of different compartments and a zippy pocket and a shoulder strap, and it is a British company, British made. I think they're actually based in Buckinghamshire, so the next county along from us, and I just thought the quality is absolutely glorious. They've got some really beautiful luggage on their website as well. I feel like it's one of those brands that once you try them and experience the quality, you're probably just going to want to keep on adding to your collection. So very grateful of them to send this over, and this is definitely going to be my work bag with my diaries, my notebooks, and bits and bobs that I need for a day in London. And then this gorgeous item is their weekend kind of hold-all bag, and again the quality of this really is so beautiful. The zips are like an antique brass, which is a detail that I absolutely love. A very practical canvas lining. Once again, you've got a zip pocket, you've got a shoulder strap in there, you've got a little side pocket. Really roomy bag if I do an overnight staycation, a little sleepover somewhere, or even if I go abroad for just 1 or 2 nights. That is an incredibly roomy bag, and it's just
It's absolutely beautiful. I think it is such a well-made piece. You've got the supports down at the bottom. Beautiful quality leather. I love this green and kind of cognac leather contrast. A little luggage tag there with their Tusting logo on it. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, very, very grateful to them for sending over these beautiful pieces, and I cannot wait to use them. I think this would be the most gorgeous brand for gifting. I'm gonna have a little look at their menswear pieces because I feel like, being a British brand, beautiful quality, Charlie's gonna love this as well. If there is someone that you know that has got a little weekend bag on their wish list, then I think this is gorgeous. And they really do have the most beautiful selection of classic handbags on their website too. So I'll leave them linked down below, have a little look. And then while we're up here trying some bits on, I placed a little bit of a did not need any more, but I placed a little bit of a brown jumper dress order. And yes, I was of course wearing a brown knitted jumper dress this morning, but these ones are also fabulous. I won't be keeping them all because that would be totally over the top, but I'll try them on for you now, and you guys can let me know which ones to keep and which ones to send back. First of all, I apologise for the lighting in these clips. I know, very boring apology, but it is just so grey outside. I have got a little light behind you, but it's quite a cold light. So yeah, sorry that's not ideal. And also apologies, but then maybe some people might quite like it with the cosy vibes, for the rain noise hammering down on the window behind you. So dress number one, and you will be no doubt exceptionally pleased to hear that these are all from the high street, all affordable dresses, and I will leave them linked down below. I will number them dress 1, dress 2, dress 3, etc., so that you can find them very easily. But yes, they are all from the high street. My skin looks blue. I literally look like a human smurf. But anyway, so this is dress number 1. It is a kind of halfway between, let's scroll you down a little bit, halfway between the knee and the ankle, so very much a midi length dress. And you might be able to see, hopefully, it's got kind of like a plait detail going down the middle, which is a really nice design detail. The sleeves have got this very slight balloon silhouette to them. I would probably cinch them up a little bit. They've got a nice big cuff detail, nice with a pretty watch. I've kept the boots on. I'll just leave them on for the sake of styling them all really easily. I think with a knit dress, it's always nice to have, as I mentioned earlier, some chunky earrings, little gold ones from Monica Vinader. I think I do still have a discount code for Monica Vinader. Josie or JFMV. MVJF, it'll be on the screen here. So yeah, love this one. Really easy to wear thick tights, a long sleeve thermal top underneath. So it is a fantastic layering piece, and the chocolate brown colour is just what we're all obsessed with this season. Oh my goodness, that rain! It is super cozy, but also a little bit depressing. What is going on with the weather today? This is actually crazy, totally crazy. I'm gonna have to stand here. Don't think I like this dress quite as much. It's, as you can see, shorter. We've already lost a medallion from the cuffs. There's 2 on this side and just 1 on this side. Wow, what is this weather? But I don't really like them anyway, and I probably would cut them out. However, I'm not sure. Blimmin' heck. Let's just do this. Let's just twist you around a bit. Dazzled by the autumn sunshine. I'm not sure that I like V-neck jumper dresses. I definitely prefer them to be longer, and I think I prefer them to be roll neck, because if I've not tanned, I don't want this area on show, and also it just means that you're a little bit more limited in the thermal that you can wear. I think the fact that the medallion on the cuffs have fallen out, it's a shame, because I really like the detail on this one. I really like this crisscross design. It's just a shame that it's not longer and high neck, but yeah, this one's gonna go back. We're still in the corner because the sun is still shining, which I will never complain about. I'm going to take the dogs for a walk in a moment because I didn't get to do that this morning. This is really nice. This would be a lovely one for wearing for work, for me for a day of meetings in London. You could definitely wear a Skims bodysuit under this to act as a little bit of a thermal layer. Because it's got this like pleating detail over the tummy, it's not the kind of silhouette that's going to make me feel self-conscious about this area. I do eat a lot of very bloaty foods, and for me, I would always rather eat the yummy food and have a bloated tummy than have a flat tummy. That for me is just a lifestyle preference. So for me, I'm going to show you, my sexy Skims are just a lifesaver when it comes to having a streamlined silhouette at this time of year. I used to think they were dorky, but now I just think they're such an amazing outfit hack. And there's something about the dark brown that feels a little bit less dorky than that kind of this kind of colour. Anyway, so lovely dress, really nice. It's quite a long torso, but then the fact that this like swoops round, it could be quite flattering. It's got a nice hang to the bottom section. This would be a really nice one if you've got a day in the office and then you are heading out for work drinks. There's something quite nice about the neckline of it as well. It's not halter, but it's showing a little bit more arm, a nice length, just perfectly matching my boots actually. Really, really like this. You could definitely pop a jumper around your shoulders. That is on the wrong kind of hanger, look. Oh no, that's the new shape of my jumper. Oh dear. But yes, if you wanted to wear a jumper over the top, and then it looks quite nice to just do a little fling over the shoulder situation. Very cute and cozy, and I do love this brown and cream contrast. So yeah, I think I will definitely be keeping this one. Okay, slight change of scenery here as we chase the decent lighting. This is the next jumper dress, and I get 50% of my wish come true with the roll neck, and of course the colour and the fact that it's just super snuggly. You can see it's got almost like a checkerboard, I feel like a chess set pattern on it. However, it is not knee length, it's thigh length, so it's a little bit shorter. In fact, let me show you. I know that some people love a slightly shorter knitted dress, but for me, I just don't feel like autumn is the time of year that you need to show off your legs. I don't know, many people would probably debate that with me. It is just personal preference. How does one even style a knitted dress when you've got half your legs out? I don't know, seems a little bit of a contrast to me. However, I did also want to show you this glorious item. I've seen, this is not real fur by the way, as an off the bat comment, but it really does look like it, which sometimes I think I'm happy with because it is faux fur, but then do I want to fuel the trend for anyone potentially looking at this and thinking, ooh, that's a nice fur gilet, I want to get a fur gilet, and then, yeah, not sure how that sits with me. But anyway, fur debate aside, it's a really nice gilet. It's beautiful quality, it's going to be really nice and warm, and it just kind of looks expensive. It really does. It's got a really nice sheen to the material. The fact that it's just like, what would you call them? Strips of fur. I really like that look. It's a very, very cozy piece, and from the high street, nice and affordable. So this one is definitely staying in my wardrobe. I think especially at this time of year, I always look to cozy gilets, and this one is actually the nicest one that I found on the high street. So very happy with this look. And here is the final jumper dress. No, this one is not brown, but for the sake of variety, this one's a little bit different. Again, a little bit smarter, great for work. It has got a really nice neckline. There's something a little bit, I want to say nurse-like about this neckline. I really like the turtleneck, and then you've got these little cap sleeves, a belt that it comes with, but I'm going to try switching it for my Hermes Kelly lookalike belt, and then the length is a really nice length, and it does have a little slit detail so you can see a bit of the footwear. So overall, a really lovely, a really lovely selection of knitted dresses. I feel like my collection is complete, and I'm saying that knowing that these will not be the last knit dresses that I buy this year, because
I absolutely love them. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little try-on session.
This is the belt that I was imagining swapping in with this dress, and I think it just really elevates it. This is another little Hermes kind of dupe, but nice and affordable, gives it a real expensive finish, I think, and then can just be whipped up when you want to eat something. So yeah, love this. I think this is a really nice, smart one, and I'll probably end up wearing this on my next meeting day in London. If you're thinking the light's a bit peculiar in this clip, that's because I've actually had to bring out my Amazon light, because look how, okay, that doesn't look that bad, but it's so dark in this kitchen. So I'm gonna do basically baking by, not baking by candlelight, although I have lit a candle, it's baking by Amazon light. Today we are heading over, we've got 2 social occasions today. Firstly, we're heading over to Windsor. It is our family friend Chloe's and Tom's baby's first birthday. So it is her birthday party today. And then this evening we're coming back to the Cotswolds and we're heading over to our friends Hannah and Phil's for an evening to watch the England rugby semi-final. So I want to, I never like to arrive empty-handed, so as well as our gifts and our bottle of Nye Timber, I wanted to also take some home-baked goods. I love sharing my journey with you here on YouTube, my successes and my fails, the latter of which seems to be happening more regularly. But I listened to your comments and your advice, and a lot of you said on my cookies the mixture was too wet, and that I really should have put them in the fridge. So I will be listening to you today. I'm going to be attempting the half-baked harvest, because I just love all her recipes, the brown butter pumpkin oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, and I have got all the ingredients, and you'll be so pleased to know I'm actually going to stick to the recipe. I'm not going to change anything. So the first thing that we need to do is measure out some butter and actually melt it down on the hob. So onto the agar. This is 240 grams of salted butter, and I'm going to melt that down for 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, that's perfect. So I'm going to add this into a heat-proof bowl and let that cool for about 5 minutes. Okay, it's been 5 minutes and my butter has cooled down just a little bit. It's still a little bit warm. So into this mixture, I'm going to add my brown sugar. I have had to mix 2 different types of brown sugar, but I'm sure that will be okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. So that's going into my melted butter. That is a lot of sugar. This is a treat, not a healthy dish. Now you might remember a couple of vlogs ago I made this homemade pumpkin butter, which was also a half-baked harvest recipe, and that was my pumpkin bread. Still got loads of it left, and this recipe calls for a cup. At this stage I'm adding in 1/3 of a cup, which is about 40 grams. I love that this recipe also calls for a tablespoon of coffee. This is going to be so delicious. And we're adding in an egg and a tablespoon of vanilla extract. That's quite a lot. Lovely. And let's mix that all together. Okay, now that this is mixed, I'm adding in my flour. Probably could have done with a bigger mixing bowl. At this stage, we're also adding in some oats, and I feel like oats in a cookie is just going to be so delicious. We're also adding in a teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice and a pinch of salt. I cannot even begin to tell you how amazing this smells with the coffee in there. I never would have thought to add that to a cookie mix, but I think this is going to be amazing. It actually doesn't say on the recipe that you need to refrigerate it, so maybe because of all the oats and everything, it's quite well like binded together. But maybe I'll pop it in the fridge just for a few minutes just to harden off that butter again, because we really don't want to have a cookie pancake scenario like we did last time. Right, so at this stage, what does it say on the website? Another 1/3 of a cup of pumpkin butter. I'm going to measure this out because 1/3 of a cup is, I think, 42 grams. So I'm just going to go and measure this. Okay, pumpkin butter going in, yes, 42 grams. And then we are adding our chocolate chips. Yum! I get these on Amazon, they are delicious. This is what the mixture is currently looking like, a wonderful oaty, chocolatey, pumpkin-y goodness. As I said, the recipe actually does not tell you to put it in the fridge, but I learned the hard way last time, and I don't want a slop of pumpkin cookie sheet like last time. So I'm just gonna pop it in the fridge for 20 minutes, half an hour, while I tidy up the kitchen and get ready for the next bake, heat up the oven, etc. I will see you in half an hour. Okay, darlings, I've decided I'm going to leave that mixture in the fridge just that little bit longer because I don't think it can hurt. The next thing I'm going to do while that's in the fridge, this is something I've wanted to do ever since I saw this amazing reel on Instagram from the Little Blog of Vegan, and it just looks so easy and so fun and perfect to take to a little birthday party. They are these puff pastry cinnamon apple pumpkin donuts. I'll pop a clip on the screen here of what they look like when they're done so you can get a picture of it. It's basically a slice of apple coated in cinnamon sugar with puff pastry wrapped around it, and then you bake it and you have a pumpkin. So it sounds amazing. The first thing I'm going to do in this bowl is make some cinnamon sugar. I actually have some left over from a bake last week, so let's start off with this. Actually, do you know what? That might be enough. In fact, I think it will be. Cinnamon sugar, I'm gonna make it a bit more cinnamony, is, as you might imagine, sugar and cinnamon. Very, very straightforward. I'm adding more cinnamon because I love cinnamon, and it adds the most gorgeous brown, golden color. Right, oh, this cinnamon, fresh, proper, good quality cinnamon is just the best. I have got some apples here, freshly picked from the orchard. I think these ones are cooking apples. So I'm going to start by slicing these, and then I'm going to use a cookie cutter, or actually a piping bag nozzle, to pierce a hole in the middle. So we have got our cored and sugared apple slices, and now I've got some ready rolled, this is so easy, puff pastry. I'm taking a pizza slice and I'm just gonna make some very thin strips. I need to try and get these as even as possible. Okay, that was a 6 out of 10 job. And then you start wrapping these slices, really hope they're not gonna break, this is gonna be a little bit fiddly, around your apple. Now you can see I've got these little leaf cookie cutters, which are actually from Amazon, and I'm going to press a leaf onto the top there, covering up that little messy bit, and then use a knife to take a scrap, and this is going to be my little pumpkin stalk. So that's my first attempt. I'm going to pop this on the baking sheet and hopefully, well, I'm going to add a little bit of milk over the top and then a bit more cinnamon sugar. Repeat this process a few times and then we should have some lovely puff pastry pumpkins. Okay, that was a little bit fiddlier than planned, but I'm hoping once the puff pastry puffs out, they're gonna look amazing. This is what they currently look like. My little leaf mold is adorable. So now I'm gonna brush them with milk. Obviously the vegan blog says to use nut milk, but I've got regular milk. And then I'm gonna sprinkle once again with cinnamon sugar and then pop them in the oven for the right amount of time for the puff pastry to puff. And hopefully they're going to be amazing. I have got some spare apple rings. Not sure what to do with those. Well, they kind of resemble slightly burnt croissants more than the donuts that I saw on Instagram, but that's just the story of my life. These cooks on Instagram make everything look so easy and so perfect. I did follow the instructions of the puff pastry temperature-wise, but they have gone a little bit crispy on top. I have got the remaining apples and another sheet of puff pastry, so probably tomorrow morning I'll do this again. Oops, sorry, Dexter just choking in the background. With a slightly cooler temperature, but I have to tell you, they smell amazing, and I do have these little half bits that I'm going to nibble on that is quite crispy to try them out. But yeah, I'm sure they will taste delicious, and now it's time to roll out and bake my cookie dough. It might be a Halloween miracle, but I have actually baked some cookies which look like cookies and not like a giant slab. I am thrilled. So this is the pumpkin chocolate chip cookie, pumpkin chocolate chip coffee and oat cookies. Oh my goodness, I've popped them in this little cardboard tray, which was from something that arrived in the post, with some hessian, some baking paper down here, and some of these little Amazon pumpkins as a little treat to take with us for our various social things today. And this is only a third of the mixture. The rest I can just freeze and then turn into cookies whenever my heart desires. And we are finally ready to go, only half an hour after we planned to leave. But I've just popped my little Jennifer Bear hair bow in that looks very cute and I can never actually show you. And my dress is a lovely knitted dress from Holland Cooper. It's got the beautiful button details that we all know and love. Put my jewellery on and nice little suede booties. Very cozy autumnal outfit, perfect for today's events. This is probably a much better way of showing you. Really lovely length dress, nice balloon kind of sleeves, and super cozy material. Love it! Burgers grilling! Oh, where's Bertie gone? He's not there. Yes? Yes? What are you telling me? What are you telling Auntie Josie? You always want Auntie Josie kisses, don't you? You are a terror. So we're enjoying rugby and rosé at Rose Cottage. Such a cozy living room. Look at this gorgeous fireplace. And Hannah has even got pistachio ice cream. My favourite.